Now this is just a rumor. I must state that before this video, but this rumor came from the Hollywood Reporter. The Hollywood Reporter is a legitimate news source for movie news that has sources and all that. Now there are no details on this. It's just that the news is they're looking to make a Harry Potter series. They're not casting people. They're not There's no plot details, nothing. This show is being pitched ideas around. It could be a prequel, it could be a sequel, and it could be a reboot. Now, I'm going to go through each three of those options I just mentioned and which one I think it's going to be, and talk about what in general I think about this news. The Harry Potter franchise is not something I have high love for, at least the film franchise. I think here's the fact. The books are objectively well written books. I don't love them though. I think they're okay and I read them, but they're objectively well written good books. And over the years, people have grown a real love and attachment to J.K. Rowling's universe, and then she's been kind of questionable lately. Let's just put it that way. She's made a lot of comments against certain groups of people, and as someone who is in a position of power, should not be allowed to make. And I believe that this is Warner Brothers' attempt to get rid of her, because they should. She was heavily involved with writing the Fantastic Beast franchise, and we have heard nothing for a very long time now. I think that series may get canceled. I think they might intend to make another movie, but they'll put that movie out in theaters, and it probably won't do that well, especially since they've waited so long. The last one came out 2016, 2017. Cool. We're in 2021 now. That's about 4 to 5 years, possibly more. In 2021, the movie's not even out. They fired Johnny Depp. There's been all these complications. So let's go over the options. Let's go over the worst option, sequel. The sequel means they're going to tackle the Cursed Child. That's what I would believe if they were going to make a Harry Potter sequel, which you should not do. This is a stage play J.K. Rowling wrote and she novelized as a book. And she kind of made this. I believe she only wrote this just so she could say Hermione's black in a real piece of media. And so that way she can pretend she's inclusive and doesn't hate and isn't bigoted against certain groups of people. But she is. So I hate, number one, I don't think they're going to do this because number one, Harry Potter fans hate the Cursed Child. I know there's a group of people who like it, but I believe those people are J.K. Rowling loyalists who will stand by her no matter what she does or says. And those people don't deserve to have their book adapted. Because when someone makes a writing mistake, you call them out no matter how much you love Harry Potter. Because that book is seriously terrible. It's one of the worst books ever written. In the Harry Potter universe, that is. But this book just doesn't. It's a terrible book, terrible stage play. It ruins canon in the Harry Potter universe, and most fans just ignore it as its own thing. So making it an official sequel would be the worst move you could possibly do. Prequel. I doubt this is a prequel, okay, because they just started making Crimes of Grindelwald and all that stuff. Those are already prequels to the Harry Potter universe. So what are you going to do? You're going to go back beyond them? You already have not the best reception with those movies. So going back before the prequels that aren't well received and doing that. So it's obviously they're going to reboot the whole Harry Potter series. Now, there are two ways to look at this for me. I think this is partially a bad idea and a good idea. The bad idea for two reasons. if they are still making Fantastic Beasts movies, which they have 3 planned out, 3 more movies, rebooting the Harry Potter series while they're making a prequel to the Harry Potter series would not be a smart move. Now, this could be years out from now, but so are the other sequels. They're also years out from now. So I don't feel like that's a good move to do right now. Now, cool, you can discuss it, say maybe this is our plan after we finish those movies. Cool, I think that's a good idea. But while these movies are happening, it's really bad to market a prequel to the movies that are no longer canon because you're rebooting it, right? That doesn't make sense. Okay? The next thing okay, is that fan reception. I've heard a lot of fans go, "Oh my gosh, my childhood, they're rebooting Harry Potter." Because there are a lot of people who they want to pretend Harry Potter's perfect and it has no flaws and it's above criticism, and the people involved to make it, they're also above criticism. They've never done anything wrong with their ever. I mean, people are calling out J.K. Rowling, but but everybody else they're not calling out, so I'm not saying everybody who works on Harry Potter is a bad person. You need to call them out. What I am saying is they're not above criticism, just like any normal person. The way I look at it is this: I'm a Star Wars fan, okay? I would never tell you Star Wars is perfect. I would never try to defend it unless obviously there's unfair criticism. But if there was fair criticism, I wouldn't try to defend it and be like, no, that's not a flaw. You're lying. I wouldn't do that. Because a true fan of something understands there's flaws in every piece of media, every movie. But those flaws don't make it so you have to not like it. And if you can't look past those flaws and still enjoy the thing that you like, then why are you a fan? Why are you a fan? So that's my belief there. And I see a lot of fans out there going, "Oh my gosh, my childhood, they're rebooting Harry Potter." Now, I think it's a bad idea for the negative press that comes with that, but I think this is the least bad of the two bad scenarios because, first of all, these fans are the same people who will complain about The Last Jedi, right? The people who complain about The Last Jedi saw Rise of Skywalker. They saw Rise of Skywalker, right? So all these fans out there complaining and they're rebooting Harry Potter, my childhood. The moment a trailer comes out, it's going to get millions of views, and people are going to go watch it on HBO Max. They're going to go watch this series. So complaining and whining like little babies because they're rebooting Harry Potter. Oh my gosh. And the reason why I'm getting so uppity about this, okay, I have lots of things that I don't want being rebooted or remade. But that's because that's because they have bad people involved. That's because there's things that can't be improved upon. There's stuff like that. There's an angle they're trying to tackle it for. There's actual news and information about it. There is no actual news and information. They're just whining and complaining. And also, Harry Potter can be improved upon. Okay? If I was a fan of the books and the movies, I would understand this. They omitted entire characters, plot details, major ones that are necessary to make the things make sense, but they didn't. So here's how the Harry Potter movies went. They were making them, and they were omitting things from the books without even thinking about the later books. Because the later books weren't written. J.K. Rowling was writing the later books while the other movies were being made. So they omitted major plot points from the books. And over time, it got more complicated towards the end of the series. And so major plot points that were necessary to make the story make sense were omitted in 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and stuff like that. And so you can't go back and fix that because you already screwed up at the beginning. So now they had to find convoluted reasons to write around that. And that became a big issue in Harry Potter 6 and the Deathly Hallows. Deathly Hallows has some good parts to it, but it's nothing compared to the book and how well they put all that together. And just, yeah, I mean, it is really, really, but now with all the perspective, having all the books written, they're all right there. You can go, okay, so we omitted this from the movies for this reason. We have this whole perspective now of what happened with the movies, and we can go back and fix the mistakes that they couldn't because they weren't mistakes that they made on purpose anyways, and we could fix them. And I think they're above they're it's time to fix the movies because it's not like I'm sitting here going the movies suck. No, the movies have great qualities, the practical effects, some of the CG really works, some of the cinematography in some of those movies are really good. A lot of the performance, Alan Rickman as Snape, you can't really improve upon that, but there's so many great performances and other things and just stuff like that they could improve upon all of it. All of it. They can improve upon it all. Except Alan Rickman as Snape. You cannot improve upon that. But, I think there's a lot to go there and improve upon. And I think, if it doesn't, and look, here's the fact of it. If this does not work out, if this series gets canceled and you were excited for it, or the series turns out bad, guess what? The movies still exist. You can still watch them and watch the movies and read the books, whatever. It does not hurt anything. Because no one said you had to keep watching it after season 1 if you don't like the show or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, just reboot the whole dang thing. That's my advice to Warner Brothers. Don't listen to the fan outrage, because the fan outrage are just not even fans. Because they're just people who whine and complain that their childhood. Cool. Your childhood is not being tampered with. They're just taking something and they're going to change it and update it and make it possibly better. I'm not saying this will be guaranteed better, but most likely it could be a whole lot better. So, yeah.